Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
A lot of people waiting in line over the weekend to get something new from Apple. It's a broken record. You hear it every year. The new iPad is here. This is it, the iPad Air. You know, I'm going to have to take it out. How locked in is it? Turn it? Turn it to unlock it? Like that?
Well, whichever way goes loose.
Whichever way goes loose.
The other way.
Any which way but loose.
It's been locked in by Jammer B.
Oh, you mean I have to unscrew it?
No.
Now it's, oh, I see. It's not. Okay, well, it's a really, here it is. It's a really lightweight iPad. For the first time, it's about a pound. That's almost, it's 0.4 pounds less.
Almost nothing. Than
the iPad 4. It's also narrower, and for the first time, I've been able to use the iPad in portrait mode and type with my thumbs, which is it came to me very naturally and intuitively. I found myself in the first few minutes of using this starting to type with my thumbs like this, which is pretty amazing. It is noticeably lighter, although still at a pound. It's in there with the Kindle Fire HDX and other tablets of its ilk. Screen, of course, as with all iPads, very good. And you will notice one of the things that Apple has been touting, this A7 chip. Apple says it's twice as fast. Benchmarks say about 80% as fast. It's definitely, noticeably faster. Even when you just do the Apple swoop in and out in iOS 7, you could tell it's much smoother, much more fluid, and much faster. So it's a very nice incremental upgrade to the existing iPads. Prices are the same. The Wi-Fi 16 gig version starts at $499. Add $100 to double the RAM, all the way up to 128 gigs. $129 will put LTE in there from all the carriers. Even T-Mobile now has an iPad. So you configure it the way you feel like. I have to say, all in all, space gray and silver. It used to be black and white. Space gray and silver. That's the other change. You can, by the way, if you get the cellular version with 128 gigs, you can hit almost $1,000 for this iPad. The question, though, for a lot of people is, who should upgrade to the newest iPad? Certainly, if you don't have an iPad at all, this is the one that you probably want. The only other choice isn't out yet, and that'll be out later this month, probably November 29th, Black Friday. That's the iPad Mini with Retina. Exactly the same spec-wise, just in a 7.9-inch screen. That's really the choice if you're new to iPad. Get the new ones, you know. On the other hand, if you have an iPad, let's say 3rd generation, or certainly if you have an iPad 4th generation, you might reasonably say, I don't think it's a big enough improvement for me to run out. iPad 4th generation, the last iPad, you really have to be an iPad fanatic to get the latest and greatest. Unless you can find, a relative to give the old one to and be happy about that. iPad 3rd generation was fairly slow. It was the first with Retina display. Maybe you'd see a big improvement here. If you've got an iPad 1 or 2, what are you waiting for? Pros and cons. Definitely thinner, shallower, although they did a lot just to shrink 1.5 millimeters off the width. I don't notice that too much. I really do notice it's narrower and it is definitely lighter. You'll notice that. Also, stereo speakers on the bottom. It's Lightning, of course, as all the new iPads will be from here on out, until Apple invents another proprietary technology. So the pros: a good screen, good weight, good feel. It's light. You can finally type with 2 hands. Some people, not me, but some people with really big hands can hold this in 1 hand. Try that, Robert. Just see. Because I guess I have very small hands. I don't seem to be able to hold it. Look at that. Easy for you.
I could probably put it in my pocket.
Shannon, let's see if you can hold it in 1 hand.
Let's see.
Not so much with this. No.
No. See,
no.
Oh,
I think
close.
I'm not even close. Do I have small hands? I must have small hands.
I think, yeah.
So you have.
I can type with my thumbs, though.
Yeah, and to me, that's more important than whether you can hold it with
very
1 hand.
important.
If you want a one-handed iPad, you should get the Mini. Cons, it's just, an incremental improvement. It's evolutionary, not revolutionary. I think the iPad is a significant product. Obviously, it's a significant product. I do a show called iPad Today. I love the iPad, but I'm not sure you should run right out. I can't give it a buy. If you have a very old iPad or no iPad at all and you want to get into the Apple ecosystem, well, then it's a buy. But for the rest of you, you should probably try it and see if it makes enough of a difference compared to your existing iPad to fork out $499.
How's the camera?
The camera's a slight improvement. It has optical image stabilization. I think that's the first iPad camera to have that. That means it'll work better in low light. You know, the camera isn't, you know, it's what is it, 8 megapixels? It's not yet as high megapixel as some of the other options out there. But Apple does the best software for cameras, and I don't know what the magic is that they weave, but it's like the iPhone, even like the previous iPad. It's a very, very good camera. But please, folks, don't use it as a camera. That's really dumb, okay? That's why I don't really want to recommend it as a camera.
I'm curious because I use FaceTime with my iPad.
Oh, that's different now. You're going to be using the front-facing camera.
Yeah.
And I think there's a minor improvement in the front-facing camera as well. Not a huge improvement. Yeah, if you use it for this is a perfect FaceTime implementation. Sure.
I was in the Louvre not too long ago, and I saw a tour group with 20 people holding up iPads to take pictures.
Well, and that's what I'm
scene.
saying. I don't want to see that. I understand, especially if you're doing movies. You know, the i7, the new iOS 7 has some really nice camera features. And I think if you're doing movies, the idea that you have a giant viewfinder like this really has some value to it. But it's very annoying. If you're going to take pictures, use the Mini or something. I mean, don't hold that up in the Louvre. Nobody can see around you. And if you're at a wedding or a concert, don't. Oh. So when you ask me, yes, it's a great camera. It's a very good camera, but I hate to recommend using this for the camera. The FaceTime camera, there it is, 1.2 megapixels, 720p.
Okay.
I think that's the same as the previous iPad, actually.
Yeah.
5 megapixel camera. Thank you for the correction. 5 megapixel camera, not 8. It's the iPhone that has 8. But they do a lot with those 5 megapixels.
Yeah.
Try on the iPad Air. I do like the name. Good name.
Yep. Branding.
Lighter.
Branding.
Doesn't exactly float away, but it's lighter.